The Amos and Andy television show, which follows, was made on film. It was shown to a studio audience of 500 people, representing all walks of life, both white and colored. Their reactions as they watched the film were recorded and dubbed back into the soundtrack exactly as they occurred. No attempt has been made to cut any of the spontaneous reaction, even though at times it seems to cover some of the dialogue. Just prior to showing the film, Freeman Gosden and Charles Correll introduced the cast to the audience. A kinescope was made of this, and now we would like to show you a brief glimpse of the introductions before we present the Amos and Andy film. You will first see Freeman Gosden introducing the man who will play the part of Henry Van Porter.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to introduce one of our principal characters, the character of Henry Van Porter. We looked all over the country for this character, even looked back in Virginia, had tests made in every state in the Union almost, and we found him right under our nose here in California. His name is Chester Harrison as Henry Van Porter. Another fellow who plays a small part in the show, but in all parts that we're giving, he's very effective. Tonight, he's in the television show. He is playing the part of a plainclothesman on the police department, Roy Glenn. Now we'd like to introduce the character who takes the part of a judge in the courtroom scene. His name is Vincent Townsend. And the man that plays the bailiff in the courtroom scene, Corny Anderson. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, the character of Amos is not in the city. He has gone back home for the purpose of getting his belongings together, preparing to move here where these television shows will be made. However, you will see him in the show tonight on television, and I think you will agree that he does make an excellent Amos and does a grand job. However, I would like to take this opportunity of introducing Andy, Andrew H. Brown. Now, before we introduce Andy, I would like to say this, that if we had the power to mold the character to fill the shoes of Andrew H. Brown, I don't think that we could do a better job than the boy that we found in Oklahoma City. This fellow, Spencer Williams, actually comes to life as Andrew H. Brown, and I venture to say that 3 or 4 seconds after you see him, you will always think of him when you think of Andy. And to prove what I'm talking about, here he is, Andrew H. Brown. This next character we were a long time finding, because the Kingfish is really somebody. He's a fellow that has to have a twinkle in his eye, a smile on his face, and a sort of a devil in his heart. A fellow who is always looking out after his brothers, but first and last after himself. Now, when this fellow comes out, and when he's on television, I think you'll realize that this really is the Kingfish. In fact, we predict that all the characters we have, when you see them in the television film, they'll all come to life in front of your eyes. So, ladies and gentlemen, here he is, Tim Moore, the man that plays the part of George Stevens, Kingfish of the line.
Don't forget, we is all brothers in that great fraternity, the mystic Knights of the Sea.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to thank our cast for coming down here and making this personal appearance so that you can meet them before you see them in the television show. So without further ado, we would like to say, let's put on the Amos and Andy show, and we hope you enjoy it.